Hello everyone. So welcome to my channel, and this is the second video in the series of solid principles. And today we are going to cover uh, SRP, which is the first principle called single responsibility principle, right? So I'll give you an example without SRP and with SRP so that you guys understand how it actually works and what does it mean actually, right? So what does SRP principle says? It says that a class should have only one reason to change, right? So if you come inside a class, right, and you are making changes in that class because of multiple reasons, right, then that violates the SRP principle, right? So if you see in register, so in this class, if you come, right, we are trying to register a user, right, and then this particular class, we are doing the validation, we are doing the database logic, and we are doing the email logic also, right? So in future, let's say there's a requirement that says that you have to add email validations on certain providers or something like this, right? Or you have to add username with certain limit like length 5, 10, something like this, right? So they are reason for us to change this class, right? That is the validation logic, right? And in future, let's say we were using SQL, and then we decided that for this use case, let's start using Postgres SQL, or maybe we shift it to a new database, right? Then again, this is another reason for us to change this class, right? And then similarly, if we have an email provider and we want to change that email provider, we have another third reason to change this class. So this particular piece of code or this particular class violates the SRP principle for sure, right? What does it say? A class should have only one reason to change, right? Which is not in this case, right? I hope it is clear. Let's move on to the and violation of SRP principle, right? So what should, if we logically think, right, what does it say? A class should have only one reason to change, right? So we should separate out the logics so that the class does not perform different logics in this particular thing, right? So what we can do is we can write a separate class for this and do a service call or utils call separate for this and this, right? So that is what we are trying to achieve here. So if you go to inside the main class, um, we have certain things and we are registering the user, right? This is what we are doing before. So these are the initialization of the classes that we have done, that I will come to you later, right? So but if you see this piece of code, it is the registration of the user, right? So we'll come to the first class. So if you see, we have created a user object, right? In this video, I have not created. So we have created a user object which will have the required details, username, email, password that we need in the input, right? Then we have a validator class where we validate the username and email. So let's say if there is any length check on username, we can add it here, and there's email change, right? If there is any validation related changes that we will do, that is required, that we will do in this class, right? So this class has only one reason to change now, right? Similarly, if you want to make changes in the user entity, then only you come and change here, right? Then coming back to the user repository, right? This what it will do is it will try to save it into a database. Let's say this is a SQL database, and in future you want to add it a NoSQL database. Then maybe you will come here only in this class and make that change, correct? And then coming back to email service, right? And the email service only work is to send out an email, right? So if there is any provider related change or the uh, content related change, then you will come in this class and make that change, correct? So if you see here, each and every class has its own responsibility, right? This is for only email related stuffs, and this is for entity, this is for only repository database related stuffs, and this finally coming back to the service class, right? Where is that? Okay. So in this service class, uh obviously these are the object declarations and the constructor parameterized constructor initializations. Ignore this. I hope you guys already know this, right? So the only thing that we want to do is to register the user. So we have created the user entity or the model, and then we are doing the validation. and then we are saving it to the database and then sending out an email, right? So this class also, this has the only the business logic saying that this is to register the user, right? And all the um, class related stuff, right, are inside their own respective classes, right? Uh, yeah, this is a very important principle, right? Because it help us in managing our code in a much better way, right? And it's modular and it's easier to test and easier to maintain, right? And at any point of time, if you find a bug, you know in which class you have to go and find it out, right? Instead of looking into one got class and making the change, right? Because if you make a change in this got class, then you have to test each and everything that is there in the system, right? If let's say if you change only in email service, then you will only have to change the email service part, test the email service part, right? Okay. Um Obviously, the other things that are important are the class diagrams and all. So I have made one. Maybe I'll show you. So if you see here, this is the got class diagram: user, email, password, validate user, save to DB, send email, register user. These were the methods that obviously we can start. And then what we have done is we have separated it out, right? Into multiple parts, multiple classes. So user service has one validator, user validator email service is one of the classes, and the user repository is one of the repository classes, right? And there is a user model or the entity class that is used here, right? Okay. um, hmm. Uh, so yeah, the other thing that is important is ER diagrams, so that you understand the flow and it gives you a practice also of how to build. Because in many interviews, people ask to draw class diagram or ER diagrams, right? So yeah, mostly these things. And obviously, when you are giving the interview, start with the problem first. Draw the or explain the problem without SRP. How will it look like? What are the problems? And then uh, go with the SRP flow. How will it look like? Maybe you can show the class diagram or just explain it, right? Uh, Point out the reason for each of the classes, and there should be a single reason for that classes to change, right? I think we have already discussed that, right? And yeah, mostly that's it for uh this video. uh I hope you like this video, and it will help you in your developer's career and the interview process that you are looking for or applying for. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and do comment if you have any feedbacks or any suggestions or any doubts in such. Uh, Thank you so much.